And
we're back.
Yeah, okay. We're back. We have to say like and subscribe because I feel like when you say that, don't make me edit again. People at least think about it, you know? They go, should I like and subscribe? Oh, I'm already subscribed. Or maybe I should unsubscribe. So, you know, at least people think about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they just unsubscribe
we're back doing...
fully.
Oh, they never come back?
They never come back, bro. Not one comes back.
We're down to 0. We're back down to 0, which is fine. I'm happy to be there.
Top 10 worst anime betrayals.
Yeah, if G ever unsubscribes, that's top 10 worst anime betrayals, isn't it?
100%.
So here's the thing. We're back doing the best childhood TV shows. Now we are going to do our number 3, and we're going to do some honorable mentions. Now this may take another 30 minutes.
That's right.
So if you're here and you enjoyed the first episode, even if you didn't enjoy the first episode, like and subscribe, or dislike and unsubscribe. Like I'm happy for both.
That's right. All right. So it's my turn.
In fact, I'd like if you disliked. I'd like it if you disliked. Wouldn't you, Vincent?
No, I wouldn't. But for some reason, you're about conflict and whatnot. You want people to just arc on you in the comments. Bro, that Apo guy, he looks like Alexander Voorhees or whatever the man's name. Volkanovski.
I look like both Alexander Voorhees and Volkanovski.
He's Alexander Voorhees.
That's too funny. I don't know. It's not a man.
Okay.
It could be like a mate from your work. Sounds like a man that does computer science. Oh, yes, I'm Alexander Voorhees. I'm here for the computer science role. Like, that's Alexander Voorhees.
Bro, if an Alexander Voorhees rocks up on Monday, mind blown.
Dude, he rocks up on time. He rocks up on time as well. He's one of those guys, you know? Anyway, give me your number 3, Vincent.
All right, number 3. Top 5 TV show for kids that I watched as a kid is Yu-Gi-Oh.
You just say childhood.
Yeah, okay, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. Specifically...
man, I didn't even think about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Specifically Yu-Gi-Oh GX. Yeah.
Is that
No, that's not the original one. That's the second generation, I think. Right. It's the main character was Jaden Yuki, and the monsters he used elemental heroes, which were my favorites.
Oh, that's wild.
Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh, because I played the card game as well, and I collected the cards.
Well, see, Yu-Gi-Oh, when we were growing up, Yu-Gi-Oh was the big thing. There was Pokemon still, of course, but people actually played Yu-Gi-Oh as it was meant to be played because no one knew how to play Pokemon with the cards.
That's right. People just collected the cards because they liked the Pokemon.
That's right. We would come into school and we'd actually battle Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah. To
the point that it got banned.
Yeah, I remember playing on like milk crates.
That's exactly right. Do you remember those days, bro?
Did I remember those days?
You would play for people's cards as well.
I didn't play
which
for
was
people's
hilarious.
Cards. I don't remember doing that.
Because you'd be like, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. If I beat you, I get that. I get you a Dark Magician. And they'd be like, okay. And they'd go home, they'd be like, Mum, I lost all my cards. Mum would just be like, that was $50. Like for 3 cards. I don't know how much the Yu-Gi-Oh things cost. But we ended up getting banned because people kept going home with like nothing. And, you know, heads like me who were top tier at Yu-Gi-Oh would come home with just like stacks.
You were top tier at Yu-Gi-Oh, were you?
No, I wasn't actually. I didn't win many matches.
I don't even remember you playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, bro. I used to play, man.
That's wild.
I had Dark Magician, everything.
A Dark Magician until some kid like stole it from you.
Yeah, bro. Ben, I'm coming for you, bro. Anyway, go on.
Yeah,
go on with your love for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh, I mean, I always loved the card game, and so seeing the actual monsters come alive on the silver screen. Is it the silver screen? The silver screen.
It is a silver screen. It's a screen.
No, that's amazing. You always like to see, or it gave more of a realism to when you played the game, because you imagine that happening when you were playing it.
Oh, you imagined like putting your thing out. You got the 2 fingers holding it. Somehow just 2 fingers are holding it.
I know.
And then it's the card that you need.
That's right. It's heart of the cards. Like, you just think about friendship and you draw the right card.
Bro, that's wild.
Honestly.
And also, the thing is, you pull out Elephant Graveyard or whatever it's called, and then you just bring your best thing back from the graveyard. You got Dark Magician again. You got Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Right, you pull out a Monster Reborn, that's game over. That was also at a time where Yu-Gi-Oh was much simpler. Now,
I'm assuming now it'd be very complex.
Now it's insane. I mean, I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh a few years ago, and now it's like, okay, I start my turn. You're just there. They're just like playing cards, like summon, like graveyard. All right, trap card. This card. Man's got 5 monsters all with like 3,000 attack, and you're just sitting there like, what's going on here?
And the best thing about that is you end up being like, hold on a second, all my life points are gone. I haven't even played one round. It's like, yeah, well, that's just, it's the heart of the cards, bro.
You can't even attack in the first round. That's what they're saying.
It was funny. I was working with a kid, and he was like, "Can we bring in Yu-Gi-Oh cards to like play?" And I was like, "Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to be the bomb at Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, bring your cards in, let's play." And he's like, "All right, I'll give you this part of my deck, and I'll take this part of my deck." And Mans did exactly that. He's like, "I have this card which raises this card, which takes your life points to 0, and then this card which brings all the life points to me, and then gives you a couple extra, and then it takes away from you in 5 moves."
Right, I was like, "Yeah, you had no chance."
And I was looking at the cards, I was reading them, I was like, it doesn't say this anywhere on here. I think Mans was just trying to play me for a fool, but all card games, I feel. Like I played that Magic, the Gathering game.
Yeah, I never played that.
I've played that, and that game is just like, you honestly just, one, it's the heart of the cards action. You pull out something, you're like, oh yeah, this just destroys everything. And 2, if you're playing against a man that knows what they're doing, they just end up saying, all right, this card does this to that, which also does this, and inadvertently I get your car. Like it's out of the game, but I still get your car.
Oh, we're playing for pink slips now.
Yeah. Like Toretto comes in with the Magic the Gathering card. Dude, you imagine Dominic
Toretto's versing, I don't know, Jason Statham in one of the movies that he was the bad guy. He just pulls out a trap card. And Jason Statham, then he just card disappears, and he's just sitting on a seat with the steering wheel in the road. That's what happens. That's Fast and the Furious 10.
Yeah, like the Yu-Gi-Oh Origins.
Yeah,
because they go to Egypt and they uncover like Yugi.
Yeah,
and that triangle,
the Millennium Puzzle. Dominic Toretto, he gets a Millennium Puzzle. He goes, "It's all about family," and then the puzzle just does itself. Just solves
Dominic
itself.
Dominic Toretto needs one. He needs his own spin-off series, and it has to be like Dominic Toretto and the Prisoner of Azkaban or something. And he's just it doesn't have to be that specifically, but he's just involved in something that's just so far out of his reach.
Bro, he's on
science expeditions.
He's going to Azkaban. He's cracking a few Coronas. he's holding them up to the Dementors, and he's just like, it's all about family. And the Dementors just turn into just like regular dudes. And they just have a barbecue out the front of the lawn with the tree that moves.
I was thinking, when Sirius Black's like getting his soul like sucked out.
Yeah.
Right? He's getting his soul sucked out, and that little bubble comes out. They're saying like, this is the essence of your soul. And Dominic Toretto just comes through, like jumps over something, just smacks all the Dementors with his car, opens up the door, and he's like, Severus, it's all about family. Well, man's name is Sirius, but...
No, he just goes to Snake. It doesn't even... It just drives past. It's serious. He's like, Severus, hop in. It's all about family. And then he clicks the NOS, and he flies into the distance.
Dude, Dominic Toretto needs to be in other movies outside of his franchise.
I feel like you chuck...
If there was an Avengers movie...
A different guy from a movie into something completely different. That's just what you want to see.
Yeah. Which actually goes into my number 2, which we'll talk about later, where crossovers are a big thing. Because crossovers in cartoon series, that's like some of the best.
Yeah. And Disney series, happen. They did a few in the Disney series.
Like if they did a Wizards of Waverly Place / a Sweet Life of Zack and Cody mix up.
That's right. Or
That's So Raven. I would see her with anything, because That's So Raven is a top tier show. Now that you bring it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I almost look at my list and I say, man, I should have put That's So Raven on.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list and I'm going, man, I could have rejigged it, but I'm pretty happy with what I...
Well, I love the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I think that is well and truly you. from not only a perspective of a man that loves to collect things, but also a man that just likes to, engage with things that have more than just one element to it.
Yeah, and the fact
there's
that
the card game.
You could just be, out on the street in the Yu-Gi-Oh universe, and some, 40-year-old dude can say, "Bro, I'm going to destroy the whole Earth," like in one sentence, and you just pull out, Exodia, and like, dude can't do anything.
And you got all arms and legs.
You've got the whole pieces. You got all 5 pieces, and he can't do anything.
Also, I remember Mans was like pulling out Exodia, and I looked at the back and I was like, bro, this is fake. These are a fake. Dude, there was bros that almost got started over the fake Exodia cards.
Dude, that's a cold hard scam.
Dude, because you look at the back and you're like, that swirl should look very different to what it does.
Bro, this swirl is pink.
Anyone that did the dirty and tried to get the Exodias without actually, being lucky and, the cards and whatnot, I hope you're not doing well in life. I hope things are hard for you.
That's a bit heavy, but that's okay. Because, that's top 6 reasons why back catalog are comedic geniuses. There was one in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is like Yu-Gi-Oh! Information. There was a strategy, back in the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you could basically just draw every card of your deck until you got Exodia. And so you'd have decks that you just play first turn, and Mans would just be drawing cards until he gets Exodia, and you'd be like, yeah, well, you lost.
I got Exodia, like there's nothing that you can do to beat me.
That's right. It got banned real quick. Now that is another movie, now that we got the Detective Pikachu, which I think is an enjoyable movie and it looks cool. We need a live action Yu-Gi-Oh movie with like that same level of detail on the characters. Yeah.
Because I would love to see it. I would love to see Dark Magician. I'd love to see I'd love to see that, Toon, what's that Toon? There was that Toon Dragon or something.
Yeah, Toon Blue Eyes.
Was it Toon Blue Eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, there was Toon Everything, right?
There was Toon Everything.
Different Toons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I loved it.
The Detective Pikachu movie was really good. Really good.
Especially just the way that it looked.
The way that it looked.
Good.
The actual story ended up being pretty trash at the end.
It was fine. Yeah.
But
Ryan Reynolds is he's just the man's, but like that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, Vincent, let's get into my number 3, and then we'll do a couple honorable mentions here, I think.
Yeah.
My number 3 is something that when you got home from school, you got home, the news was on, right? You're on Channel 10, the news is on, you're like, man, I cannot wait till it hits 6 o'clock because The Simpsons is going to pop on my screen. Now, The Simpsons is a show that I've watched I've watched at least the first couple of series multiple times. Now that it's on Disney Plus, I went through a big binge of rewatching The Simpsons. And it is just as enjoyable as it always was. There are some things in there, obviously it is of that time, and they have changed particular things on there now. But in saying that, now the show is trash. I haven't watched any of the new episodes, but from what I've heard, it is trash. But they would just poke fun of every single person and just do the wildest things in every episode. Every episode, the best thing about that I used to do when I was younger was when you would get in there, you do the opening with, them all coming back from school, coming back from work, coming back from the grocery store and whatnot. And you try to pick which episode you're going to watch based on the couch gag.
Oh, yeah.
Like when the couch, like the thing happened, you're like, oh man, do I know this one? Is this you'd never guess it. And then also it'd get into the story, and the first 5 minutes would be completely different from whatever the story was going to be. It'd always be something else, and then there'd just be some massive tangent, which I thought was always hilarious.
That's why you tangent to this very day.
That's why I tangent to this very day. Now, you have to realize, everyone in The Simpsons is not a good person. Except for maybe Lisa and Marge, but everyone else is just like the most horrid person ever. But that is why they're hilarious, because like they are truly just exaggerations of different types of humans, right? Like Homer Simpson is the exaggeration of the typical American man, and they're the typical American family, right?
Yeah.
But the characters on the side, such as Mo Sislak, such as Cletus.
I was going to say Cletus.
Cletus, such as Willie and Chief Wiggum. Those are some of my favorite characters of all time in any show, movie, whatever. Because they only get there are other episodes where they are more involved. You know, there's the episode where like Mo Sislak is Maggie's babysitter.
Yeah.
You seen that one?
I don't.
Where he's like quite involved in it. But
vaguely.
These characters only get like a couple minutes in an episode, and they'd steal the whole episode. You know,
yeah.
When I think it's Bart is doing like has to do some community service, so he's helping out Willie, and Willie's calling the hose the hoose, and he's saying, "Get the hoose, the hoose." Like that makes me laugh to this day, and I haven't seen that episode in probably like 10 years. But it still makes me laugh.
That's hilarious.
Also, just a top tier thing about the show. The Treehouse of Horror episodes are the best horror-based episodes. Like they created the blueprint of being like, you know what, we could do like a Halloween style episode and actually make it good.
Yeah, I remember getting a lot of the Treehouse of Horror comics.
Me too, yeah. And that's another. The comics are good too.
Comics are good.
The Treehouse of Horror. I got a Treehouse of Horror comic, and it was of like 30 Days of Night. Do you remember that movie 30 Days of Night, where it's like it's in a Scandinavian country or something.
Like you wake up and it's just night, and you go, go back to bed, and then you just wake up again and it's still night.
Yeah, you know how there's places where during winter it is night, or it's completely bright during summer for more than 12 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's always 24 hours.
Because of the rotation of the Earth and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, the original story is that vampires come because they're like, oh, bro, 30 days a night, we don't even have to hide. Like, we're just out here for like 30 days.
Yeah.
They did that in The Simpsons, in one of their comic books. And it was one of the most terrifying Treehouse Horror comic books I've ever read. But, you know, also hilarious too. The best, I would say, my favorite Treehouse Horror episode is the one where when Homer makes the like time machine out of the toaster. Do you remember that one?
No. Maybe if you keep talking about
it. He makes a time machine out of the toaster and he ends up going back to like dinosaur times. And then he's like, I got to remember what my...
And his dad said something and it's completely unrelated?
No, he's like, I got to remember what my dad said on his wedding night. And his dad says, if you ever go back in time, don't touch anything. And then he ends up touching everything. And then like all the different things change.
Yeah.
You know, for example, he goes back in time. He goes forward in time and they're like rich. He goes forward in time and, you know, they're all lizard people and whatnot. All those sorts of things. But in that same episode is The Shinning. It's like, it's the play up on The Shining where Homer's like, no TV and no beer make Homer something. Yeah. You remember that episode?
I remember the meme.
Dude. And Willie's in that episode as well. He's the groundskeeper of the place. And he learns that Bart has the shining. Or the shinning in this case. Because they don't want to get sued. Like that episode is probably my favorite, maybe even my favorite Simpsons episode of all time.
Yeah.
But I'm worrying that I'm going to just rant too much and ramble on the...
Simpsons is a big
Simpsons.
part. I mean, it's not technically a children's TV show. And I would probably argue that it's probably not good for children to be watching. But like,
you're correct in that.
No doubt it's a top tier TV show.
But here's the thing. When it comes to cartoons, right? If it looks animated, you can put a kid in front of it. And they'll be happy to watch it. Unless it's like Happy Tree Friends.
Oh, man.
Remember that Happy Tree Friends? I remember someone was like, oh, watch this. And I was like, oh, bro, we got cartoons here? That's amazing. And then man's eyes just popped out of his head. And I was I've been traumatized. But you're right. Simpsons is it is a cartoon for adults. But when you're putting it at 6 o'clock, you know, at prime dinner time just after the news, of course I'm going to be watching.
Just after the news, that's right.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Vincent, I think we should get into our honorable mentions here.
All right, yeah, I got so many. I'm just going to go through this list of TV shows I watched as a kid. Shout out to Mango Pickles.
Right. Mango Pickles, you're doing the God's work.
Because Mans has got Little Elvis Jones and the Truck Stoppers. Do you remember that?
Little Elvis Jones. Yeah, my brother was talking to me about that, and I was like, Little Elvis Jones. Again, I don't remember much about the show, but I remember the opening.
I just remember him getting the high score in pinball.
I just remember him playing them marbles.
Marbles, yeah.
Yeah.
Far out.
And there was that dude with the big, like, he was just always wearing a white suit.
Yeah. Honestly,
some of these... He was always playing marbles with, like, electronic marbles. Little Elvis Jones was... And here's the thing. All of those shows are great to us because as a child, you would just sit there and absorb everything. Yeah. Like, it didn't matter if it was good or bad. Like, so long as it was moving on a screen, you were enjoying it.
Yeah. Another one is Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's an honorable mention for me, which is also a weird TV show that I remember getting real scared at. But I ended up watching it. I watched all the episodes like last year, and they still hold up as actual good TV shows.
Cartoon Network, I think, were good at that.
Yeah.
We're good at making like TV shows that, like, obviously there were some TV shows that were just silly and fun for kids, but there was others that like stand the test of time as to being actually decent cartoon shows that you can watch across the age span. Now, also the funny thing about Courage the Cowardly Dog is that a lot of it is like, I've seen the things where people were saying, oh, it's just from the perspective of Courage, so none of this like ghostly stuff is happening. Yeah. They're not in the middle of nowhere. It's just that Courage is a dog, so he doesn't know what's beyond his front porch.
That's right.
Because he never goes beyond that, which is hilarious to me now that you think about it in that way.
Yeah.
And that all the people that were scary were like visitors or like the mailman coming. Because if a dog only knows its two owners.
Yeah, that's right.
They did very well.
I've just realised Avatar The Last Airbender.
Oh, bro, that's not even on your list.
Dude,
I thought that'd be on your list.
Well, I just completely forgot about it because... I don't know if I watched it when I was I watched it when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I should have put that in there. Bro, that'd be my number one. That'd be my number one but I feel like I watched that a bit older than I was a child.
It's like when we used to watch...
First? 2005.
It's like when we used to watch One Piece.
I'd never watched One Piece.
No. I watched a bit of One Piece, but I only watched that when I got a bit older.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it when I was young, but like I got into it a little bit more when I was older. Same as probably Dragon Ball.
Yeah, see, I never liked Dragon Ball
when I was young.
Never liked Dragon Ball.
But
just the whole thing was just people yelling. I don't want
it was violence, right?
Yelling.
So that's yelling. You know me, Vincent. If there's people yelling, there's violence. I'm going to be there, especially with people with killer hair as well.
Bro, Round the Twist. That was a weird TV show. I just remember some dude getting pregnant in that.
With the fish baby?
Oh, man, I'm pretty sure
Is that the one?
I'm pretty sure
or
that
he eats a fish
scarred
and
me
he can
for
swim?
life.
The one that scared me the most was when the sister, like Vikings came.
Bro, I don't remember that. I'm telling you, all I remember is the fish. I just remember the one where he peed on the tree and something happened. And Mother Nature smacked him.
No, I think that might be when he got pregnant.
Maybe it was. I can't remember.
Maybe like Mother Nature went up the urethra and like gave him a...
like them fish in the Amazon.
Oh, dude, you don't want to mess with that.
No, absolutely not. Hey, what about this one?
Speaking of that, though,
yeah,
I was going to say a top tier show that really should be on our top fives. It should be is Play School.
Yeah, that was going to be that's on my honorable mentions because
is that on your honorable mentions?
That's on my honorable
mentions.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, go on. I was going to say because Play School was not only just like a show where it was fun and educational, and as a kid, as we said, you put your kid in front of something, they'll enjoy it. But it was interactive. You could do the stuff along with them, but also without no one and anyone being like, oh, this is PC gone mad and all those sorts of things. It was one of the most diverse shows on all of television. Like there was a man that looked like me. Remember George?
I don't remember the characters. I just remember the one lady that was on 90% of the episodes.
100%. But George, man's had a receding hairline like me, and he was on national television.
They put a man's with receding hairline on national television.
And if George can do it, man, I know that I can do it. So shout out you, George. And George is watching. I know he's watching. So shout out you, George. Shout out you.
I'm going to list my actual honourable mentions that I've written down.
Okay.
The rest of them I'm just seeing in this list and I'm going, man, that's an honourable mention. So I got Phineas and Ferb.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Honestly, that was the next one that was going to go on my top 5, but just missed out.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. I remember watching Scooby-Doo on repeat, like the same episodes on repeat.
I don't want to spoil anything.
What?
But we're going to talk about Scooby-Doo later.
Okay, don't spoil it. All right, That's So Raven. We already talked about That's So Raven.
And also, the spin-off of
Corey in the House.
House.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Like, where did the idea? They were like, look, okay, your dad's a chef. What if he was the chef to the president of the United States? But he only took Corey there. Raven's out. Corey's in.
Was the mum there as well?
I don't think so. I think it was just the dad, Corey, and his two mates. That dude with the blonde hair and then the girl. I can't remember her name though.
That's hilarious. Dora the Explorer. I mean, that's a classic. You got to put in there I'm the map. Where Swiper at?
Yeah, but was that was out of our realms though, wasn't it?
I don't know. I remember watching it. I don't know if it was when I was like 15 with my cousins there. I remember watching it.
Yeah. Speaking of cousins, even though I watched this independently of my cousins, but for some reason it reminded me, Pingu.
Oh yeah, Pingu slaps.
Pingu slaps because me, Pingu.
That's right.
Again, it has a slapper of an intro. But also, it's just a penguin going around going, meet.
That's right. Is there any dialogue
and crying
in that?
A lot. I don't think so. Is there a narrator?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Regardless, it was top tier.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I got...
Go on. You got some more?
That's it for my actual list. This is on the list, right? Okay, The Replacements. Did you ever watch that?
Is that like the superhero one?
That's the one where the two kids get different parents every day.
No.
So the synopsis is,
hell.
I remember watching it, I remember enjoying it, but now listening to it, 2 orphans are given access to a super foster agency that enables them to replace people in their life with aces and superhumans.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's their parents, but if it's their parents, that's trauma.
That's what I'm saying. They're going through transitions
every single day. They can't be having different parents every day. They need stability.
Replacements. Let me have a look. No, I never watched that. It's just coming up with like Replacements LTD.
Yeah. Dude, Lilo and Stitch. That's
Lilo
GOAT tier.
Top tier.
That's GOAT tier.
The movies were 100%.
Oh, the movies were unreal. Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, bro, Jimmy Neutron.
The
dad. That's another meme.
Yeah, that's
that's full of memes.
That's
full of memes. Trying to think. Oh, The Amanda Show. Did you ever watch The Amanda Show?
Oh, that was the that lady, Amanda Bynes.
That was Amanda Bynes.
Yeah. I remember watching that a bit.
And the story of Amanda Bynes is one of tragedy, but now I think things are a lot better in her world. But you can't give a young child that much fame and probably no supports. Because I think that's what happened to Amanda Bynes. She was just like, you have your own show, which is named after you.
Yeah.
And it is you on the show. It's not cartoons. It's not whatever. It's the lobster. It's the lobster court. It's the man's with the guitar. Although, we don't talk about Drake Bell on this show anymore. He's banned from this show. Mans is a convicted sex pest. So Drake and Josh, we just take out the Drake. It's just Josh. Shout out Josh Peck though. Shout out Josh from.
I mean, he was the best part of that show. So
he was the best part of And Josh. That's what.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, the Magic School Bus. Oh man, I remember getting like book club things from that.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude,
I don't remember watching the Magic School Bus.
No, that was the best. They went microscopic and went to like a person, to like intestines and whatnot.
Yeah.
They went out to space.
Was that the one where it was like they were going into weird orifices?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So speaking of Magic School Bus, the in many ways like a spiritual sequel to that is Captain Planet.
Yeah, see, I never watched that.
Dude, Captain Planet, one, he's our hero, takes pollution down to zero and whatnot. The song was good. But also, it's just a show about kids coming together to just stop the world's crises.
That's wild.
And when they bring their power together, they're just like, hey, look, we got Captain Planet here now to help us out. And then the episodes would end with Captain Planet being like, hey, just don't litter. Like, we'll be fine. Yeah, you know? It'd be hilarious if there was one episode where they were like, it goes into it and it's like, and now here's a message from Captain Planet. And then Captain Planet's like, hey, yeah, you know what? Don't be afraid of coal, man. Like, coal mining's killer, bro. Don't even worry about it.
Like BHP for life.
This was paid for by Scott Morrison and the Australian government. Like, that's how it ends.
Dude, Arthur?
Arthur the Aardvark was good, man.
Dude, Arthur.
But you're missing out on one of the biggest things ever, Vincent.
What? Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men?
They're good. They're good too. But I'm talking about... Jeepers, we got storms brewing out there. I'm talking about Tommy Pickles, Chucky, and the Rugrats.
Oh, yeah, Rugrats. I don't remember watching that a lot, but I remember liking the movie a lot.
The Rugrats in Paris?
Yeah, that one there.
So, Rugrats in Paris, I loved that movie so much that when I went to Santa Claus that year, I was like, Santa Claus, listen, I need you to do me a solid here, man. I need you to get me Rugrats in Paris, the game. I didn't know that a game existed, right? I didn't know that existed. I just went up to the mans and I said, I want Rugrats in Paris, the game. That's what I want. Then on Christmas, when I got Rugrats in Paris, the game, I was like, Santa's just pulling out, like, you know, he's pulling out the hits here.
He's working hard. He's got the elves, doing game development work.
I genuinely thought that game was made for me.
That's hilarious.
Because I didn't know it existed as a game. I just liked the movie. So I was just like, there has to be a game about this.
That is the best.
I need to be in that. And the game is great. I haven't played it in many years, but I'm assuming if you go back, it would be great. There's this bit called Chucky Chan, where you play as Chucky and there's like all these boards flying at you. You got to smack them up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Because the game is you go through a theme park and you go and do like all different rides and different challenges and you get tokens. And with those tokens, you like move to the next area.
Yeah.
So you have to like grind in one area, then go to the next area, then grind in that area, go to the next area. Man, it was great.
It was wild.
Great. You got any more honorable mentions?
No, that's it for me. There's so many more things here that I could mention, but like we're gonna have.
We might have to tell these people to tune in next week.
We are. We're gonna have to say next week again. Sorry, it's just gonna. Hey, you're never gonna hear the top shows. It's just gonna be next week.
It's never gonna happen. How funny would that be? The next episode is just 30 minutes of us rambling about other stuff.
Yeah.
But here it is.
The Wild Thornberries, far out. Honestly,
dude, Rugrats Gone Wild. We're talking crossovers. Rugrats Gone Wild is one of the best.
Rocket Power, bro. They're just on skateboards.
Yep.
Oh man.
Ed and Eddie. Did you talk about that?
I didn't like that show.
I like that show a lot.
I thought it was weird. Postman Pat, bro. Postman Pat.
Postman Pat.
You know,
and I didn't appreciate when people said. I didn't appreciate when people would sing the "He ran over his cat." I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, because like it's him and his cat. He doesn't have anyone else.
Mans does his job. He has his 9 to 5, which is postmanning.
Yeah.
And he goes home to his cat. But guess who's with him at the 9 to 5 as well?
The cat.
His cat. So not only is his cat at the 9 to 5, his cat is at home. All he has is his cat, and you're talking about Postman Pat ran over his cat.
Come on, guys.
You know? It's absolutely disrespectful.
Absolutely.
And just before we leave, I got to say Keenan and Kel.
I never watched that.
Keenan and Kel. Well, you should. And you should also watch All That and Cousin Skeeter. But for now, we're going to leave it here. And we're going to see you next week for our top 2.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe because these are the top 2 coming. We'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.
Hey, Vincent, guess what? We're back for our top 2.
Oh, bro, we back? Oh, that's
greatest child. We're back.
Far out.
We're actually back.
It's been a long week since I saw you last.
I know, man. It's been 7 minutes.
Yeah. Was that funny to anyone?
Greatest childhood TV shows.
Hey, like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. Let us know what else top fives you want to do. You know? Like, should we just do top 5 designer songs, but it's just Timmy Turner? And then Panda's number 4. And then no other songs.
Yeah, because... look, I'm not going to speak anything mean on designer because he's doing his thing. And I appreciate that he's doing his thing. I think he did that, that rap on Sway in the Morning or something.
Oh, yeah.
The freestyle rap. And he's just yelling into the microphone.
That's hilarious.
Which is great.